All right, the Rockets' strategy is what, Chris, and will it work?
Well, their strategy, it has to be getting more guys involved. I think that's for starters. We've been consumed by this referee debate over the last couple of days, calls, non-calls, and some of it is, Dan, it's legitimate. I mean, all season long, that rule where you're supposed to give the guy space to land has been called. The play's been called over and over again, and then it seemed to disappear, and at least in the first half of that game the other night. But beyond that, if you look at some of the numbers, and I've been kind of digging into this a little bit, the last 7 or 8 games of the Rockets Warriors postseason games, the Warriors have played the Rockets extremely well. Like, their offensive rating is down. James Harden's 3-point numbers are down. All that means is that you can't have PJ Tucker going for goose eggs. You can't have Clint Capella giving you 4 points. Eric Gordon played well, in terms of number of points in that game one, but he was 4 for 13 from beyond the arc. I mean, I think there's too much emphasis on Harden and the referees right now. The supporting cast for Houston has to play so much better if they're going to have a chance in the series.
Yeah, but you're bringing out all this research now and going back to Game 7 of last year. How is that going to help the Rockets tonight in Game 2 and the rest of this series?
I mean, it's like a souped-up version of what Phil Jackson did for decades. I mean, how many times after Phil Jackson thought that he didn't get the benefit of the doubt from calls in playoff games, whether it's for Jordan or Shaq or whomever, did he gripe to the refs, or gripe about the refs, take the fine in the hopes that he would sway things one way or the other? This is like to another level, using advanced analytics and research about complaining towards the refs. I mean, I think it's kind of goofy, especially the stuff from last year, given that, what did Houston miss? 27 three-pointers in a row in that Game 7. I mean, that's more impactful to me anyway than a handful of missed calls. I think it's all about trying to make an impact on the referees. And then, it's funny. I just saw that I think Scott Foster was assigned to the game tonight. And Scott Foster has a long and checkered history with Chris Paul and the guys on that team. I mean, I found that assignment. And look, the assignment they're not made, they're not made in the last 48 hours, but that just adds another layer of intrigue to all this.
But this is what I want to know, Chris. This is what it comes down to for me. Are the Rockets saying that there's bad officiating or there's favoritism to the Golden State Warriors?
Oh, I think they're saying it's favoritism because, I mean, they're citing kind of specific examples of how the Warriors get the calls and they don't. So I think it's more that than anything else. But
Chris,
again,
Chris, that's a big accusation here.
Sure. I mean, but they're trying to back it up with data, right? I mean, that's what that's saving them from just throwing around wild accusations.
But you're saying the league is favoring Golden State. They want a result. If you're saying that they favor Golden State, then they want that result. That's a bigger story here.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any other way to look at it than to say that the Rockets are, saying that the NBA favors Golden State, or at least the way Golden State plays. I mean, I don't know if they're making the direct accusation that the NBA wants Golden State in the finals. That's a lot, but maybe they're accusing them of favoring the way Golden State plays.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on VR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.